Bye, guys.
Yes.
I guess we just could have let it go on for like 10 minutes.
We
and
could
let each other-
have. That would have been like probably the most viewed live that we've ever done.
It probably would have been the most productive, too.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But
I'm Shaman.
yes,
Yolanda.
I'm Yolanda. Harper. We're the Harpers.
From the
We're the happy
Connected-
Harpers from the Connected Relationship.
Oh, Lord.
We are, clearly.
No, I hate the happy Harpers. That's so dumb.
All right. So we are Shaman and Yolanda Harper.
We are Yolanda.
Yeah.
and
Well, I'm
Shaman.
Yolanda. You're Shaman.
Yeah.
We're the happy. We're the Connected Relationship. Should we start over?
No, there's no starting over. This thing's live. Don't you see a little live in the corner?
It does say live. It does say
Right.
live. But we actually would like to share something helpful. Hopefully, it's helpful.
Maybe.
Possibly.
No, I want to talk about the 4 Horsemen.
Well, look, I don't know about you at home. I will just speak for and I don't even know about for you. I'll just speak for myself. Like, communication is legit, for real, a challenge.
Sure.
It's a challenge under the best of circumstances, and like during COVID, I find myself needing a lot of extra space for pause before I say things. Because sometimes I'll end up saying things that I regret, and I don't want to do that. Not just with us, but just in general.
Sure. No, I think...
We just spend a lot more time together than I spend with other people.
Right.
And you might be doing that at home.
Yeah, with your significant other.
That's right.
So there's some things that you got to kind of watch out for.
Yeah. The John and Julie Gottman,
Right. I was just about to say this is the
gurus,
Gottman's work, right?
the gurus of relationships, who've studied relationships for 40 years. They came up with this 4 Horsemen thing.
Right. And these are like relationship killers.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly communication killers, but relationship killers all around, right?
Yeah.
And the first one is criticism.
Whew. Yeah. Criticism.
So what does that mean?
It means I'm critical. It means when you're critical of your partner.
Right.
Yeah, when it focuses on, when you're only focusing on what your partner is doing wrong.
Right.
That's tough. I mean,
Right.
who wants to have a conversation if, the person who's talking to you is just pointing out how much you screw things up?
Right. And criticism tends to be like you statements a lot. Like you do this, you do that, you don't do
always,
this.
you always, never.
Right. And really, instead of that, we should probably be like, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Using those gentle startups with the I feel.
I need. What about?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just kind of softening things. You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Right. I mean, you can still get across what you're trying to say. You can just do it in a way that's not so critical of
Where
your
the other
partner.
person is able to be more receptive, right?
Right. Because who listens to criticism?
You.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That just automatically, it's like,
Right. I mean, the walls come up. Right.
Not very helpful.
The next one, though, we have is defensiveness.
Right.
Like.
Yeah. I don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I never. No, that's not me. You're
Well,
right.
at least I don't do this. Yeah.
Right. And I think you can kind of combat that one by taking a little bit of responsibility, right? It is a 2-person kind of deal. There's 2 people in the boat.
And the relationship pie.
Relationship pie. Now we're eating pie. Everybody likes pie.
You have to own at least 1%. There are 2 people in a relationship, and
Right.
it's never 100%.
Right.
Even if your responsibility is 1%, you got to own up to it. The interesting thing about the criticism defensiveness is that they tend to pair.
Right. Criticism can launch us right into defensiveness.
Right. One person is critical, the other person comes back with some defensiveness, and maybe throws a little piece of criticism themselves. So.
Right.
It's a happy little dance that we get into.
It is. And the third one is contempt.
Ooh, this one is tough. This one is tough because in the research, in the Gottman's research, this is the one that was most highly correlated to divorce in the relationship.
Right. This is the big one.
This is the big one.
Right. This is the one that like will really kind of destroy relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. And contempt is that energy of like, just basically like, you suck and I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Right.
Right. It's toxic, but we can, the antidote to contempt is creating a culture of appreciation.
Right. Instead of like hating you or contempting you, I could appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I think we can find things that we appreciate in our partner at some level.
Right.
You know, no matter what.
Well, I mean, there's a reason that you were drawn to your partner to begin with.
Right.
So that's a good place to start. Remember some of those things that allowed you to get together.
Right. Right. So the fourth one is stonewalling.
So the last one is stonewalling.
This is kind of putting those walls up.
Yeah.
Right.
This is where physiologically we just kind of get overwhelmed and we just kind of like shut down.
Right.
The research shows that this happens more in men than it does in women.
I can see that.
But stonewalling is definitely equal opportunity.
Right. Right. So how do we?
How do we do that?
No, I mean, how do we fight that stonewalling?
How do we fight stonewalling?
Well, I mean, we kind of take a break. Mm-hmm. We try not to let the other, each other get overwhelmed.
Yeah, and it's doing that psychological soothing. Psychologically soothe yourself and physiologically soothe yourself too, right? Because I mean, the stonewalling does happen when our bodies just become, completely dysregulated. It's hard for us to engage.
Right.
So taking a break is the best thing, and going and doing something calming, whether that be, take a shower or go for a run or, put on some music.
Right.
Those are just some different examples, but take that break that you need so that when you come back, you're able to be present with your partner.
All right. So you're tearing down the walls a little bit.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, these are all things that they're not good for relationships, right?
Yeah, the four horsemen, look.
Right.
It's 2020, just call in the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Right.
We don't want to add anything to it that we can avoid.
And I mean, but frankly, we all see some of these in our relationships.
Yeah, and some of us have ones that we kind of go to more regularly. Right. Sometimes, one person might be more contemptuous, another person might be more critical.
Sure.
Someone else might tend to stonewall. So kind of get clear for you, like, what is your path of maladaptive communication?
Wow, that's a big word.
Right? I know. I've been saying all kinds of big words today.
It's like, wow, that's what?
Maladaptive communication. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then keep in mind what the antidote is for that style of communication.
Right, because there's ways to counteract these things, and they will help a lot when you're really struggling through one of these. If you can just kind of take that antidote and kind of apply it.
Yes. And this is where I love to kind of pair some of what our relationship mentor Terry Real says about just kind of checking in with yourself before you do have a conversation with your partner.
Sure.
And setting an intention, and am I in the right space?
Right, because you can totally bring the wrong tone.
Right.
To
you can bring the wrong
conversation.
tone, you can bring the wrong energy.
Right.
So, if my maladaptive communication style is criticism, see, look, I'm moving into the 50 Cent words.
Right.
If my maladaptive communication style is criticism, then I can check in with myself, and am I in a space where I can bring a gentle startup to the conversation I'm about to have.
And it doesn't mean you're not having these tough conversations.
Right. It helps you to have.
I was going to say, it actually enables you to have these tough conversations, and that's kind of the point. If you want deeper connection, you're going to have tough conversations. Yeah. And you're going to have to deal with things like contempt, and you're going to have to deal with things like defensiveness and stonewalling,
And the fact that these are present in a relationship is not doomsday for the relationship. I mean, these are just...
At some level, all relationships have these.
Right. So it's just being aware and knowing what the antidotes are, and being willing to lead with the antidote and not with the horseman, the maladaptive communications.
You've used that word so many times today, I don't even know. I'm gonna have to go look that up.
So, Relationship challenge would be to identify what antidote to the four horsemen that you are going to practice putting on before you engage in a conversation with your partner.
Cool. I like it.
I like it.
All right.
I know. All right, guys, have a
Guys,
good one.
have a good week. Bye.